Yeah, I mean, Vladimir Putin, we all know, a lead hockey player. We've seen it. We've seen the footage.
Jesus Christ.
Stick talk. 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 Stick talk.
And hockey.
Yes, sir.
Welcome back, everyone. This is episode 115 of Stick Talk Hockey, and the first one after the finale of the 2024-2025 NHL season.
Banger season.
Banger season indeed. I think we talked about this before, but like Four Nations, this whole rematch of the finals, McDavid again in the finals against this Florida Panthers team. You had Rantanen deals twice, murders his old team. Like, the script writers were just they were out of their minds this year.
Absolutely. You have to admit that when Bettman fixes a script, he fixes it right.
Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? As always, I'm your host, Tico. This is my co-host.
I'm yours truly.
Over there we got our producer.
Producer Jet.
And yeah, the Florida Panthers win their second straight Stanley Cup consecutive back-to-back in the rematch against the team they beat last year, the Edmonton Oilers.
And wasn't it something?
I mean, yeah, what a convincing win.
Absolutely. I have no doubts left. You know,
Yeah, there's just no two ways about it. We talked a bit about like the scarring I felt from 2011 and like how that was kind of repeating here, where it just felt like Edmonton had to win. And then as we got through, particularly Game 6, we were kind of, we said we weren't killing the oh my God, I almost called them the Leafs.
You may as well.
We said we weren't gonna kill the Oilers last week, but the vibe was already there. And then as Game 6 went on, it was like, yeah,
You could smell the coffee. It was bland and it was stale.
this team's done.
Yeah.
It's over.
It looked bad.
The Florida Panthers were simply the best team in hockey this year. No questions asked.
No, none at all. Best free agency ads, best offseason ads, best coaching adjustments throughout the season and
Best
throughout the
deadline
playoffs.
ads.
Yeah, like you can't argue with anything that they've done.
No, they have the best coach in the league. They have the best facilities in the league. Like, that's, at the end of every Cup Finals, there's always teams and journalists like scrambling to be like, what's the takeaway, what's the new takeaway that we can figure out on how to win a cup? Is it, be super big on the back end? Is it, have super mobile defensemen like when Colorado won? And it's like, just be the best at literally everything. Sorry.
Yeah, just figure out what works and then do it to the best of anyone's ability.
Yeah, there's simply no shortcuts. I mean, the only shortcut you can take, which Florida did, is stumble into being way too bad, right? Like at the beginning, you kind of have to be bad and get lucky to get draft positioning. And I mean lucky because the draft lottery is literally luck. And also there's certain things like, as a Canucks fan, the Detroit Red Wings passing on Quinn Hughes. Like, that's just lucky,
Yeah, no, absolutely.
But then it's like, after that, just be the best at everything. Be the best at developing your talent. Be the best at acquiring new talent. Be the best at those reclamation projects. Have the best facilities. Have the best coach, and just keep adding the best players. Even when you're coming off back-to-back finals runs and a Stanley Cup, adding Seth Jones and Brad Marchand. Just be the best at everything. That's the shortcut. That's the quick trick to winning.
Yeah, definitely. It's just applying yourself in every facet and being excellent at it. Like, and shout out to their scouts and everyone who picked those players.
Yeah,
because those panned out beautifully.
Absolutely. I mean, every single one of them. Like, this is why I so hate, and I'm increasingly by the day hating this state tax thing. Like, because I just, it's such bull to me.
That changed quick.
No, it didn't. I'm sorry. The state tax mattering is bull to me.
Oh, okay. I thought you were just like hopping sides there.
No,
like,
no,
wow.
not at all. Because like, Who from this Panthers team was added in free agency? That's the only time a player gets to pick where they go, is in free agency. And what Florida's done so perfectly is every time there's a bad situation, we got to move on from this guy because something happened, Florida is there picking that player up.
Yeah.
Every single time. Seth Jones, I need out. I hate it here. This sucks. Every team's like, well, Seth Jones last couple of years. I don't know. Nope, Florida gets him. Buffalo needs to blow everything up every 5 years for whatever reason. What happens? They trade Jack Eichel. They don't get Jack Eichel, and Vegas gets Jack Eichel. But Florida gets Sam Reinhart.
I mean, it worked pretty well for Vegas, too, and they do the same damn thing.
Absolutely. And then Calgary as well, right? What happens in the span of like a couple days? This Matthew Tkachuk guy decides, I don't want to stay here. Who's first on it? Right there, Florida Panthers.
Yeah, and with an enticing deal nonetheless.
People talk about like, oh, well, of course it's the state tax. And it's like, no, it's the fact that no other GM is as on it and as willing to capitalize as Bill Zito. Simple as that.
Yeah, and he takes risks. Like, those things could have just as easily not worked out.
Yeah.
But he took the calculated risks. He found what he was comfortable with, and he went for it. And it's been brilliant work through and through.
It's paid off repeatedly now. And now you have a Panthers team that's going into a cap growth era with $20 million in cap space. All of their core players, save for Brad Marchand, who I don't really count as a core player because he just got there, like all of them are under 30. Like they're not going anywhere. It's hard, right? With like I remember Jonesy, you were talking about with Colorado after they won, and it was like this team's gonna be a banger forever.
Yeah.
Windows close unexpectedly and quickly.
Definitely.
So I'm not going to say they're going to win 5 straight cups or anything like that. But, like, there's a chance that they're a real dynasty.
100%. I mean, we're definitely going to be talking about them for the next 5 seasons like we talked about the Bolts for 7 straight or however goddamn many we had to do. Because I remember when the Bolts were just haunting the league.
Haunting.
You couldn't do anything about it.
And, like, the insane thing about that Bolts run in comparison is by the time they got to that third finals, when they played that Colorado series, like, near the end of it, it was like, yeah, they're cooked. Like, they've just been beat up by 3 straight seasons of going deep. They just looked like they were done, right?
Yeah, no, definitely. They looked cooked as shit.
Florida just finished Game 6 of their 3rd straight finals and looked by far the best they've ever looked.
And I mean, their contract and cap situation are miles different. I mean, you were looking at Tampa and they were at the ceiling, and the cap wasn't going up. And they had a lot of aging talent.
Well, that's just it, right? Stamkos was already in his 30s. Hedman and Vasilevsky were already like around there too.
Yeah, they were going into their last contracts pretty much, or their last valuable contracts before you're just kind of keeping them around as like a parting favor.
Totally. Yep. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And I mean, look, do they really have enough money to get market value for Bennett, Marchand, and Ekblad? No. But like, look at this team. Look at how much fun they're having right now. I'm sure we've all seen the videos of this insane party that's been like days straight now.
Hangover NHL edition. It's been absolutely monstrosity.
Sam Bennett on stage at a club yelling, "I'm not f***ing leaving."
That was iconic, though.
That was iconic.
That was beautiful.
Ekblad already said he'll do anything to stay here. Marchand threw up a 4 and said 4 more years. Like, is it really going to be that hard to be like, hey guys, let's keep this band together?
No, it's pretty easy unless you want to be the Chicago Bulls.
Yeah, exactly.
And I mean, we know how we look at them now. I think that like history's told us enough to, say let the boys stay together and go for another chip.
For sure.
If they think they can do it, then let them do it.
Like, it's really hard to keep internal cap structures, and like I really don't believe in teams taking hometown discounts. At least not the way fans think of it usually. Like, people are like, well, like, with Marner, people are envisioning like, well, if we could keep him for $8 million, it's like,
he's not doing that.
Come on, like, be realistic. Like, hometown discounts are like a couple $100K usually.
Yeah,
but like a team like this,
or like they sign with you because it's you matched.
Yeah, exactly.
You just get the edge on that.
Yes, totally. A team like this though, like, Why would you want to play anywhere else right now?
I mean, it's beautiful place, beautiful weather.
Yep.
Drive to work in a golf cart.
Yep.
Boys are having fun.
Yeah.
Best coach.
Yeah.
Best facilities.
Yeah.
State of the art.
And then even then, we can add a little cherry on top there and add your little steak tax on there. Helps.
Thank you. It does
Yep.
help a little
sure.
bit. And the housing. I mean, it should.
Yeah, cheap.
You can get like a mansion in Florida for like
Yeah.
$500K.
Might be underwater in 5 years, but you can.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, hey, flip it like a car.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
There'll
exactly.
be other hockey players moving into the city.
Yep. No, like why would anyone want to leave? And even after winning the Stanley Cups, I saw it online. Like, I can take credit for noticing this because I didn't. But like the fact that they handed the cup off to Nate Schmidt first is so huge for like the recruiting process. Like, you bring in this guy who's never won a cup. He's not, and you just make him so a part of the group so immediately that like Carter Verhaeghe afterwards is saying like, it just felt so good to win this cup for the new guys that had never won one. That felt better than me winning it again.
Yeah.
That makes players want to come.
Absolutely, and Barkov said it in his interview as well. He said,
Yeah.
you know, like, we decided, you know, before this game that if we close it out tonight, we're going to make sure that all of the new guys lift it first because that's such a special moment, and we want them to know what that's like before we go back and have ours again, because
Like,
then we can all enjoy it.
unbelievable. And then that plus like Marchand after the Leafs series and this series, but like after the Leafs one, like just talking about like how, they got good players over there. Kachuk as well, like repeatedly. Yeah, they got such good players over there. If it wasn't such a media circus, we don't have that here. Right?
Yeah.
And then after this, McDavid, he's so good. He's going to win a cup somewhere.
Posturing. He's
Recruiting.
posturing big time.
Recruiting.
Absolutely.
I've never seen it so blatantly from players, and I honestly can't help but respect it.
I respect it a little bit. You do
Totally.
it. If you're a winner, you'll do anything to win, and that means, you know, flying the flag and being like, hey, winners, come over here. We are winners. You want to join the winners, or you want to keep losing?
The NBA super team era is incoming.
Absolutely.
This is the start.
I think the Hugheses will be next.
I honestly completely agree.
I think it'll be like, this is just as predictable as the mass exodus of junior talent from the WHL, OHL, QM. Like, I think that the writing is so on the walls that you'd be I'm speechless of a word to not acknowledge it. I don't actually have a word that's like so in depth, like ignorant.
No, I really think that like this is the one area that I'm so confident in the league is moving towards, you know?
Definitely, especially with, you know, the way that the league's shaped into it being a players' first league again.
Mm-hmm.
The players have way more control than they've ever had, and
Absolutely.
they'll keep gaining more control.
Absolutely.
That's what happens with every CBA and every negotiation. They work a little bit closer to what they want.
For sure.
So,
It's coming.
yeah.
You know, there is one thing I wanted to note, actually. I was thinking about this week because some of our listeners may know that I'm a pretty big Chelsea guy now.
Chelsea
fan. Shout out to Chelsea.
That's footy.
Yeah,
For those of you
that's
that don't know.
football. They got absolutely demolished today. However,
Woof.
it just this got my brain kind of clicking about, you know, fans are so upset about the state tax thing, and I almost think there's something bigger here that you should be mad about. Mudryk, one of the Chelsea players, just got caught doping. Okay?
Okay.
He's facing a 4-year ban
Wow.
from the sport.
That's crazy.
Now, I'm looking at that and going, Ekblad got to play the entire playoffs? Wait, Aaron Ek. Oh, yeah, that's right. Aaron, that's so different from hockey, where Aaron Ekblad got basically 3 weeks. He got 20 regular season games. Huh.
Yeah, I mean, like, allegedly his was misreading his medication bottles
Uh-huh.
for an injury
Uh-huh.
that he was prescribed medication for.
So I think that the NHL
Has Vince McMahon in their back door?
may be hiding some pretty big doping scandals.
Yeah.
like someone brought this up to me at my workplace, and I was like, no, I don't think so. And then I was like, well, there's not really any big ones.
Hulkamania might be running wild back there, brother.
But I mean, think about other sports. Think about baseball. Think about football. Think about soccer. Like there's massive scandals all the time in doping.
Absolutely.
There's none in hockey.
No, and I mean, there's big scandals in hockey about everything else, just as like the same frequency.
Mm-hmm.
Drunk driving, drug abuse,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
But
all
no
the
doping.
other yucky stuff. No doping, actually.
And it's the most physical sport out of all of them.
It's the one where you would definitely require steroids for a faster healing process. You know, and I was always a little bit perplexed by how these guys come back from injuries at like such a rapid rate. Because it's always like, oh, a separated shoulder, and, you know, there's a doctor that's, you know, on the panel, and he's like, yeah, that's usually about, like, you know, 8 to 10 months, you know, with some surgery from the best doctor and, like, the best bed rest possible.
Yeah.
We'll see him, like, next season.
Yeah.
And he's back in, like, 6 months, fully functioning.
Yeah. So the one that I thought of was the fella who has an Instagram profile picture where he's standing with the man behind the biggest doping scandal in international sports history, Vladimir Putin. And that person is Alex Ovechkin, who's standing with Vladimir Putin. And I just thought, do we never look at this? Alex Ovechkin is 40 years old, broke his leg, and came back in 6 weeks. And scored 50 goals, basically.
You know, maybe there's a reason Russia Machine don't break.
Noticing.
I'm just saying it's something
Not accusing. Not accusing.
I'm not at all.
For legal purposes.
I'm not.
Speculatory.
Yeah.
Withdrawn from court.
Yeah, I mean, Vladimir Putin, we all know, a lead hockey player. We've seen it. We've seen the footage.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, but I'm just saying my brain started wandering this week once this Mudryk stuff came out. And it's taken me to some interesting places I'd like to look into a little more.
You know, I never really thought about it because it's never really been talked about.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact it's never really been talked about makes me wonder why I've never really thought about it either. So I'm noticing, as Jay would say. I'm definitely noticing now.
So, yeah.
If there's something I'd put a tinfoil hat on, it's probably that.
Something to think about, yeah. Something to think about. Speaking of, like, weird things that get tossed around, the LTIR thing.
Yeah, there's some news that broke about that from our boy Frege.
Yes, saying that the league's investigating Evander Kane and the Oilers for mismanaging the LTIR, saying they're investigating his knee surgery in January that stopped the rehab for his hip/groin injury. It didn't help that Evander Kane came out and said, like, yeah, I'm feeling the best I've ever been while he was still hurt.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it is interesting that they're finally looking at this, and like the conspiracy theorists are just going so insane. Like the ones that are like, Bettman rigs it against Canada. It's like Vegas can do it forever, and then as soon as a Canadian team does it,
no, Canadians are just too honest. That's the problem.
Yeah, Evander Kane, known honestier.
Hey, you know what? If there's two things he's good at,
Yeah.
it's racking up debt
Yeah.
and being honest about it.
Oh,
so,
okay.
you know,
Yeah. That's all.
There's probably a couple more, but I relinquish to say them.
Yeah. Family show here at Stick Talk Hockey. So yeah, I mean, what do you make of that? Do you think anything of it really?
I think a lot of it.
Yeah.
I think that it's going to really shape moving forward how teams actually approach this and how careful they are with their moves.
Sure.
I think that things have gotten a little blatant.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
People have been noticing for too long.
Totally.
And if there's one thing we know, it's that the NHL won't do something about it until they're embarrassed about it.
Yes.
And then when they're
Yes.
embarrassed about it, they overreact about
They
it.
make sweeping decisions. Yeah.
In like
Hastily.
in like days. They're just like, yeah, that's the perfect answer, and just completely double down on it.
Yeah, factual.
And on top of that, I did see news that there was going to be talks about the LTIR status changing for teams in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So now the team that takes the ice, like, you can have whoever the hell you want on the roster.
Sure.
That's fine. It's your money.
Yeah.
But the team that plays on the ice in the playoffs every game has to conform to the cap
Yeah, it has to
constraints.
It has to be cap compliant.
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, hopefully that goes through, because I don't understand why that's not a thing.
No, it absolutely should be.
Yeah, like if you have to be salary cap compliant all year, why would you not have to be salary cap compliant when it matters? Like, it doesn't matter if it's just through the regular season, you know?
Absolutely, and I think that it would also it would make teams really consider having to put players on waivers.
Yeah.
Because that's going to become a reality, and then you have all these teams that aren't playing that have nothing but time
Sure.
to move pieces and reallocate resources to take that player off of free agency or off of waiver wire. Sorry.
That's very interesting.
Like, that would make for some pretty interesting sideshow stuff in the middle of the playoffs. If you saw like a second-year player, who's barely cracking the roster, all of a sudden just gets swallowed up by a cup contender that was out early.
Totally. Because because I think, like, real deal, if the cap flies up over the next few years the way they're saying it's going to, you add that with no cap mattering in the playoffs and like the LTIR shenanigans that have already gone on, which I haven't hated the teams for. That's been a flaw with the league, not the teams. Like that's basically like living in a sport that has zero salary cap.
Yeah, 100%.
So I think that's a great call, and I really hope it does happen.
Yeah, I think it would be awesome.
Jay, what do you think of that? Are you in agreement?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Because, like you just said, kind of like no other sport has this BS.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think either keep the waiver wire open, like literally all year, because why the hell not? Freezing waivers makes absolutely no goddamn sense.
Yeah, that one doesn't matter as much to me, because I do think, like,
if you're going to comply, then comply. Like, just comply.
Yeah, but I do think, like, there's so much more injury risk in a playoff run that, like, you would need to utilize it much more than you would in the regular season.
Yeah, that's fair.
Or maybe if it was reworked into, like, a grace period of some sort.
Within injuries or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, if there's an NHL doctor-confirmed injury, then you can call up players within 2 days and send them down within 2 days of a player being declared active or not.
Right.
Like,
Because I also wonder how that would affect the AHL playoffs and like the World Cup of Hockey.
Because like I'm also not big on like the whole you can just have whoever's on your team as long as the team's compliant.
Right.
Because like we've heard from teams like Vegas say, how much money would you spend on players if you could? Just to win another cup. Right. And he's like, oh, if there's no cap, and they're like, yeah, no cap, absolutely nothing. He's like, all of the money.
Yeah.
Every penny.
Right.
So that's not exactly fair either when you have teams like Vegas that are willing to swallow up every player at free agency because there's absolutely nothing stopping them.
Well,
and then what? You have a roster stacked with like 35 players, and as long as the one that takes the ice day in and day out is compliant, is like, that's fine.
Like, why would you stack it with players that aren't going to play?
Because you can. And it means other the talent pool is only so deep in the league.
Okay. But like you'd still need to be cap compliant through the regular season, like as a whole. I think would be the way, right?
I guess you would assume so, perhaps.
Yeah, like that's how it is right now. They wouldn't remove that to add this.
Yeah. I just don't like the prospect of, like, I don't know, 6 people go down, 4 people go down, 3 people go down. You pick up everyone off of free agency, and then, like, they're just back.
Yeah.
And also, like, that couldn't really happen without it being, like, obvious, though.
But things have been obvious before, and like they don't do shit about it.
But not like 4 people.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I don't think that's even like possible. Like I wouldn't be worried about that.
Yeah, I'm in agreement.
And like
with
those
that.
people would have to be on like long time IR in like the off season.
In order for that to
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that would be overall a very positive change for the league.
No, definitely.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll iron all of that stuff out to make
I'm sure
make
they
a
will.
lot more sense. But like speculatory, it could go a lot of ways, and it could be a lot of fun in
Yeah.
a lot of different ways.
Question for you.
Yes.
Most dominant team of the salary cap era. Are the Florida Panthers there?
Give me another year.
Okay.
Because if they don't make the finals,
Mhm.
then I'm gonna have to say no.
Who would you say?
Well, it'd be Tampa then, because like numbers don't lie. 3 finals in a row.
Florida's also already done 3 finals in a row.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh how quickly we forget history.
Mhm.
Not during COVID either.
No.
See, so
You're right.
Jonesy pitched this question to me this week, and my question has now unequivocally become the Florida Panthers, because they did not beat the absolute fugazi Montreal Canadiens, nor did they beat the weird, not as good as they are now, but closer to the cup, Dallas Stars.
Yeah. and
This
you
Panthers team beat McDavid twice.
But I mean the Hawks beat the Flyers.
Yeah.
Blah.
Well,
I mean the Penguins were pretty dominant, but they didn't inspire me in the same way.
I really, Jonesy, what'd you say about the Penguins?
Like, well, there was like an Instagram post of
Yeah.
like who's the most dominant back-to-back winner,
Right.
and like all the comments were like, "Oh, it's obviously the Penguins," and it's like, no, it really wasn't though.
Yeah.
Like I think
You said that like they survived off Crosby and Devil Magic.
yeah,
Yeah.
2016 though, the 2016 Penguins were just so good though.
Evil team, for sure. That team was sick.
2017 was so lucky.
Yeah, like
But-
that second cup was nowhere near as like convincing as either as this Panthers Cup was.
My answer to this question is the 2022 Avalanche. I actually feel like maybe just specifically during that time, like I feel like I'd never seen a team that dominant.
Yeah.
My only problem is that they don't really have good goaltending.
Right.
I mean, they didn't even have good goaltending. They had negative goaltending in the playoffs, and they were just so dominant still.
Yeah.
So but it's hard to say that they're the best team considering they don't have that.
And like considering it was only one.
That's true.
Cuz like I do agree with you, like when I watched that Colorado Avalanche, they felt so inevitable.
Definitely. It was like watching a storm roll in on a city. You just know it's going to get rained on.
Inevitable. Yes, 100%. I actually think though that Chicago team is close for me too. Like they had 3, did they not?
Yeah.
I mean, split up, and like the first one was very different from the other 2. And I mean, obviously the Penguins also had 3, and the first one was very split up from the other 2, but much more split up than Chicago's was.
Was Bufflin on that team when they won that cup? Because I remember.
Bufflin,
2010, yeah.
the first one, yes, and he was playing on the wing.
Yeah, he was a monster.
And the next season, he was randomly like he became in one off season a 50-point defenseman as well.
Disgusting.
It's unbelievable.
And then he was just like, I want to just give it all up to go fishing.
Yeah,
And now he just sport fishes.
Dustin Bufflin was such a monster.
Absolutely. Like,
They had like, who else did they have? They had like did they have like David Boland and Shaw and Pat Versteeg?
Yeah, Toews, Kane, Avi.
Yeah, Seabrook, Keith.
Oh, Christ, what's his name? He's
That team
bounced to
was
like every
nasty.
team. Love this guy. Sod. It's Sod.
Was
They
he
had
there
a-
on the
they had-
2010 team?
They had a very young Brendan Sod.
That team was ridiculous. But
Put some respect on Brendan Sod's name.
Renaissance, yeah, great player. If the
I didn't-
Panthers get one more deep run in here, it's just like it's clear, it's over.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. That would seal it for me, I think.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that would absolutely seal it. I might have to go back to the old Chicago tapes. Just for the sake of, like, argument. Just to play devil's advocate.
I know how like iconic it was, but I was also just we were talking about this not that long ago. I hate that cup winning goal from Kane.
I know. It was pretty goddamn lame.
I know it's so iconic and he was the only one that knew it was in, but like, what a whack way to win a Stanley Cup.
Yeah, you're the only one celebrating in the building for like 10 seconds.
Yeah. I also was just like such a Kane hater, and the Philly was like my second team at the time, so I was pretty distraught by this.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know how many cab driver jokes I made?
I was
like at my middle school at the time.
I was literally about to say, wasn't that the year he beat up the cab
Yeah, it
driver too?
was,
Like, that's crazy.
Oh, how far we've come, eh? Like now he's just like this like cerebral like hero for Detroit.
I don't get it.
Time heals all wounds. Maybe not for the cab driver, but
No. Didn't he also like have a sexual assault case that was
Yeah.
pending and he like wasn't
They-
put on like suspension or anything?
yeah,
And they like
a
actively
crowd-
applauded
a
him.
crowd chanted his first game back. Where was it? I don't remember where it was, but the whole arena chanted "She said no"
Which is
at Patrick Kane.
poetic.
I was very proud of that at the time. I was like, hell yeah, hockey fans with some Flyers fan, Philly fan, yeah, Philly.
Shout out Philly. I don't say that often. That felt weird. Where am I?
Where am I? Yeah. Speaking of that 2010 Chicago team, though, Jonathan Toews.
He's back.
He's back, and he's going to Canada.
Yeah, I mean, Winnipeg, hometown boy, of course.
Yeah. Good for him. I really, really don't expect him to, like, be a difference maker for them.
No.
But wow, would it be spectacular if he ends up being one.
It absolutely would. I just hope he gets through the full season. Like, I was looking
Yeah.
at the contract breakdown, and most of the contract is signing bonuses and, like, performance bonuses.
Yeah.
And most of them are just based on games played,
Games
not
played.
even points accrued.
Yeah.
Like,
Like-
they're just like, hey, if you can get through 40 games, we'll give you an extra $500K. Like,
Yeah.
it's almost
Yeah.
patronizing at this point. It's like, hey, old man.
I think, like, that contract can get up to, like, almost double the value, no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm-
absolutely.
So good for him.
Yeah, there's like 8 different performance bonuses
Yeah.
slapped onto it, including playoff performance.
One of the craziest bonus structures I've seen in a contract, honestly. But it makes sense. Like, honestly, that's a good way to structure this kind of contract.
I think it's fair to both parties,
Yeah.
honestly. Like,
Yeah.
you know, if the guy doesn't stay healthy, then you're off the hook for the majority of it. And if he stays healthy, he gets what he's due and gets
Yeah.
the respect he's deserved.
And if he stays there and in the league and all that, you get old but Jonathan Toews at $4 million or whatever it is. That's great.
I'm sure he's got some gems to drop on everyone too. Like, you know,
I hope so.
he's also like been out of the league, seen the world, seen life. Maybe he has a different
Yeah.
perspective.
Bro went to India.
Yeah, I bet, you know, maybe he takes like a whole different approach to the game. You don't know.
It's wholly possible. Can you go back to his DB there, Jay? His last season in the league, he had what, 31 points across 53 games? Yeah, that was so rough.
That was the year I took him in fantasy.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Since we're kind of out of the finals talk for a second here, I just want to put this out there. You're talking about fantasy. I couldn't hit a drive all week golfing.
Oh, okay.
And then Jackson got me riled up talking about CMC, Christian McCaffrey.
Yep.
And I was fired up, and I hit the best drive of my life.
Oh, it feels so good. Just like putting all your problems into one golf swing.
It felt very, very good. So for the first time in my life, thank you, Christian McCaffrey.
Ladies, if you're like listening at home, like if you want like something to make your man think that you care and like listen, just ask him what his like best golf shot he ever hit was, and just give him like the floor for 10 minutes. Just let him go.
Or his best fantasy pick of all time.
Yeah, that'll definitely get him too. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Or favorite player from childhood.
Yes.
Indeed. There you go. You're instantly going to just get him to open up.
Yeah, 100%.
There you go. That's Trill's dating advice.
All right. Let's find something else to talk about here.
No, we're pretty much through it. I mean, there was a couple signings, ho-hum, whatever. There was a trade.
Yeah, nothing too crazy.
Devils traded Howla. He waived his NTC to go to Nashville. He said, yeah, sure, that sounds nice.
Yeah.
And I mean, I can't blame him.
I can't blame him either.
Kind of stacked. It could be a lot better, but they got some talent.
Nashville seems like a fun city.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Hot, yeah.
Good food.
Duchesne
lots
stays.
of culture. Oh, did he?
Yeah.
I missed that. Okay,
signed,
cool.
Re-signed in Dallas, 4-point-something million.
Rumors intensify about Jason Robertson being on the trade block. Super bizarre. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think Robertson's gonna happen. I think because what happened with Marchment?
You got traded to Seattle.
Seattle, yeah. So that's already one move out the door, and that frees up some money for them as well.
I'm pretty sure that they did that move and then they signed him, and then they have like a couple $100 in cap space right now.
That's insanity.
They signed Robertson?
No,
Duchesne.
Yeah.
Oh.
You know, that's actually such a huge blow to this free agency market, because this free agency market already is incredibly weak. And Matt Duchesne is the only player in free agency who had 80 points this year, besides Mitch Marner.
That's actually crazy to think about, because
that's insane.
How long have we written off Matt Duchesne? I know we've talked about this already this season. I know, but
well, how many teams did it?
And how can you blame him? We all thought he was done. We thought he was taking the Jonathan Toews road out.
He just needed to be somewhere that it seems like he's a big relationship guy, and he found a place where they knew what they wanted from him. He was happy there, and it's just worked, and the performance is shown on the ice. It's good. I'm happy for him.
No, absolutely. It's hard to be mad about it, honestly. Like, if you're happy where you're at, then stay there. Absolutely.
Yeah. He got less than he would have on the open market.
I mean, he's got a family.
Totally.
Like, if you got a house, you love the house, your wife loves the house.
Yeah.
You know? And there's lots of, how much longer are you going to play hockey?
For sure.
If you love the house and you love your neighborhood and you're like, I could see living here for 30 years.
Yeah.
Why would you, force a move?
Yeah, let's all move to Winnipeg.
Yeah, or then you have to go and live apart from your family and lease a condo for 9 months of the year.
Totally.
That sounds terrible.
It
too.
It does. Yeah.
It's already hard enough being on the road for 42 games, let alone whatever else or however many it breaks down to.
Yeah,
you don't get 42 at home, but
I got one last question.
Yeah,
no one here thinks that McDavid's leaving? Because that's not even really a question in my mind. I haven't even... I don't actually think that's going to happen.
Trill, you go first.
I think it depends a lot on how Edmonton moves and how quickly they move. And I think that if they have, some very sincere conversations and sit-downs with him and his agent about what the future is and what those plans look like and how they plan to achieve it, I think there's a very good chance he stays. If they kind of just treat him like he's a player and don't involve him, if they don't give him the LeBron James treatment, I could just as easily see him saying, I'm the best player in the world and I'm done with not being treated like it.
And I just can't imagine that being the case, though.
So, Jay, let me pitch you a question.
Okay.
Do you think he resigns? Do you think he signs an extension this offseason?
Yeah.
Okay,
honestly.
So if he doesn't, are you still confident he stays?
I'm gonna say sure, but next year would be like some peak drama.
Yes.
Just every week.
Yes.
When the Oilers lose.
Yeah. Yes. So here's my thinking on this. Is first of all, I said on this podcast that I thought it was more likely he left if they won, because you don't have the unfinished business thing anymore.
Yeah.
And Draisaitl stays. So I think, yes, overwhelmingly, I think it's most likely that he stays in Edmonton. I do. However, his comments when they asked him about it, he did give a but, right? Like, he sounded like a man who was at least thinking about it. And granted, it's coming off heartbreak, I understand. But, he said, yeah, I love it here. It's great. But I got to think about what's best for me and my family as well. Okay.
I didn't hear that.
And on top of that,
Edmonton blows.
Well, here's what something that Thomas Drance brought up. Connor McDavid beat Matthew Tkachuk into the ground when he was a Calgary Flame.
Yeah.
In the playoffs, in the Battle of Alberta.
Mm-hmm.
And then he watched Matthew Tkachuk go to Florida, now beat him twice in the finals, and twist that knife repeatedly. They're chanting "fuck McDavid" in the clubs.
Yeah, Tkachuk grabbed the mic and said, "McDavid who?" The disrespect. I would be sour. I'd be replaying that. That'd be my workout material.
And I think Tkachuk has done this a bit on purpose, because he's always been very grateful for Calgary. He's said that Calgary still championed him when he's come back, and beating McDavid and the Oilers is kind of part of that. It's still a little bit of that Calgary Edmonton rivalry, and so I gotta think that Connor McDavid is looking at Matthew Tkachuk's career here, a player who he's played against his entire career, and going, that looks like a lot more fun than I'm having.
Yeah. Looks like their team's a whole lot more active than mine. Looks like their team's a whole lot less handcuffed in the trade deadline than mine. Looks like their team has a whole lot less issues with cap than mine.
That's what the Oilers are going to get worse next year.
They're not looking good.
This might have been it.
Yeah, the window kind of looks bad.
Unless they get super creative and go full Bill Zito mode. But, it's the Oilers.
I really don't think that they do it. I mean, I just don't think that they have the ability or the attractiveness to be able to draw players in like that.
Yeah, and then Harmon Dial at the Athletic was saying that teams are hearing that they should start building contingency plans in case there's an availability for Connor McDavid. Now, I think it's most likely that he stays an Edmonton Oiler. The best player you could possibly play with is there, right, in Leon Draisaitl. He has his family there. They've been to back-to-back finals. As much as you've lost, there's no other team besides Florida that's been to back-to-back finals.
No. Not in recent years.
But I think that it's a little bit too traditionally thinking to just be yeah, he's just gonna extend.
I actually have an interesting take on this one, and it's kind of piggybacking off of what I'd heard on a Marner signing, which is that he's only going to go for potentially 4 years and see how he likes it wherever he ends up.
Sure.
Because he doesn't want to end up somewhere 8 years again that he ends up not enjoying.
Well, and if the cap's going up, cash in again.
Yeah, exactly. You're going to want more. I almost imagine that he might do that as well and just sign an extension in Edmonton, but not a big one.
Yeah, another 4 years.
Yeah, 4 years, max salary. Make me the highest paid player in the league.
Because that's the thing, right? If he were to do that, sign a 31 to 34 contract, Connor McDavid, he's going to get paid at 34, right? Like,
even just a 3-year, get him to 33
absolutely.
or 32.
Like Brad Marchand, they're saying he might get 8.5.
Yeah,
he's 37, right?
No, yeah, like age is quickly becoming not an issue again.
Mm-hmm.
Much like we saw in the late 2010s. Like,
I do think that may be the one other big takeaway from this finals is like, go get that vet.
Yeah, well, more importantly, don't get the vet. Get the guy who's conditioned to win.
Mm-hmm.
Get the guy with the champion resume,
Yeah.
and they will do championship.
Yeah.
It's just the way it works. Winners win.
I really think that like some team is going to be way happier than people think they will about signing Claude Giroux.
And they should be.
I know he doesn't actually have a cup, but that guy knows how to win.
And he's so consistent, and he's such a great role model for everyone in the system. Regardless of your age, that's Unk.
Absolutely. And it'll be a low acquisition cost.
And he's like, honestly, like, I've never heard a bad thing about Claude Giroux. I'm pretty sure
No.
he's one of the friendliest dudes in the league.
Yeah.
Like,
And I know the Ottawa Senators were the Ottawa Senators, but he was probably their best player in that Toronto series.
no, he was the only player that stood out.
Yeah.
That didn't get absolutely mauled over every chance.
Yeah, so I don't know, Jay. I'm not sold that it's just a given that Connor McDavid will stay in Edmonton.
You know, like, my stance right now is that, like, I'm seeing it in the notes. And I'm just, like, I just thought to myself, like, I haven't even thought about that. Like, that's not even something that's on my radar.
The is McDavid staying in the notes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just me personally.
Like, I get that because me too, but I think that there's more at play than just, oh, this guy's going to sign. Because I don't think we're in that era anymore of players just like blind signing out of faith and loyalty to a team because that's who drafted them. Especially when teams have ran players so thin on the other side of things.
Yes.
Like, you don't see teams doing favors for players. And if they do, it's them giving them like a broadcast job or like an analyst job for the team where they're getting like $100K a year just to help like support them and keep things going. But like,
Sure.
you know, the guys that can afford to retire, they just show up for the charity events.
Mm-hmm. I'm in agreement.
You're not getting any big favors from these teams, and you shouldn't do them for them either.
No.
Like would you take a pay cut tomorrow if your boss gave you a pizza party? No. Give me a bonus as well.
I'm going to hit you out with the hot take here. History didn't repeat itself in these finals, right? They didn't get the rematch W. However, it will repeat itself. And Connor McDavid will be a Los Angeles King.
No. I couldn't even imagine it.
See, but honestly, like, can you imagine Connor McDavid in any other jersey?
No, but I couldn't with Stamkos either.
But Stamkos is washed. Like he's not. He's still good. But like, we're talking about 28-year-old in his prime at his peak Connor McDavid.
Oh,
like that's really hard to like Stamkos. You bring him in to be like a second liner and a power play specialist, right? Connor McDavid you bring in to be the face of your franchise 1C. Like, it's really weird to think about that in another jersey, for me at least.
Like, what teams are close that have cap space?
Most of them will next year.
Just like hypothetically.
Why are you so like high on the Kings when, honestly, in a year from now, the Sharks might be so much better situated? Another California team.
Yep.
I mean, there is like the history thing. The
Yeah.
Gretzky to LA, but like
mostly the history and just the fact that like LA's good. Like the Sharks could have a good year and still be like a just coming out of a rebuild okay kind of team on the up and up. They're not like a Kings team, which is like as much as they've been first round exits, like
I don't know, dude. Like, do you think, like, honestly, do you think McDavid has any respect for the LA Kings?
Well, okay.
Yeah, that's kind of fair.
Hear me out on this. Hear me out.
I'm hearing you.
The Hurricanes are pretty high on that list. And that's a team that's been around. And that's a team that could definitely use a high-caliber player after losing Mikko Rantanen.
And that's a team that would take a swing.
And that's a team that's also losing Martin Necas because he's unhappy where he is. They have 1 year left on that guy's contract. They're going to have to deal him. They can definitely go to McDavid and go, hey, come sign with us because we got this guy that everyone wants. Who do you want?
Yep.
Let's make it happen.
Now, think about this.
Rod the Bod?
I'm with it. First of all, I'm very with that.
Conference rivals with Florida?
Yeah.
Revenge circuit?
Yeah.
See? Now I'm noticing.
Yeah, I like that. Now, how about the Florida Panthers themselves? We're talking about super team era?
I think he's too proud to do it. I don't think he would like the legacy it leaves on his name.
It would be so bad. Like, that would be worse than Kevin Durant.
Absolutely,
sure.
It would. Especially when you're as esteemed a player he is, and he got steamrolled by someone who we can agree is his arch nemesis. He would have to be.
Yeah.
There's no one else who is like.
So, like the Florida Panthers, they are going to use all their cap space, but they're going to have $10 million coming off the books in Bobrovsky next year. At 38 years old, are they going to give him another contract like that?
No. I mean, I goddamn hope not. But
Plus
I mean,
with the cap going up?
He's not playing any worse. And he's not getting any more or less hurt. And he just won you 2 cups.
Yeah, that's true.
If you don't pay him, someone will. You could probably give him 2 and just tuck a lot of them into like performance bonuses to make the cap easier though.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could probably give him like a $5 million average for 2 years, and then just tuck like $3 million into like performance bonuses of like flub stuff.
Yeah.
Start 30 games, whatever.
Yeah. Because I mean, yeah, if you don't keep him, like you're gonna need one,
right?
Yeah.
Like it's just it's a hole that you'd have to fill. Pause, but I don't know. I really, really like the Hurricanes.
That was not necessary.
Oh yeah, that was not necessary. All right, well, so we've decided Connor McDavid's definitely leaving.
He's going to be a Hurricane for 4 years.
We'll check back in a year and see where we're at. Because, honestly, alarm bells will be ringing if there is not an extension done by the time training camp opens.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's going to be worse than the Pettersson deal.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I still hate how the Canucks handled that. We've been over that through and through, but talk about unprofessional. Anyways, moving forward.
Yeah. I think that's about it for us, honestly.
Yeah, I don't have anything else.
Jay?
Yeah, let's get out of here.
Let's do it. This was a blast. We only got a couple episodes left before our break here. We got the draft next week. We got free agency after that. So thank you all for tuning in every single week. We appreciate it so much. Yeah,
thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you listening. Appreciate you commenting, following, subscribing. Thanks for having us around.
That's right. As always, I'm your host, Tico. This is my co-host.
I'm yours truly.
Over there, we got a producer.
Producer Jay.
As always, keep your dang head up.
Keep your head up.
Boom.
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 Stick talk. Stick talk. Stick talk. Stick talk. Stick talk.